Good morning, everybody. Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And with that collaboration in 2022 and 2021, we reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And if you're in Toronto, how did you feel looking out the window this morning? Hello, Ryan.
The hands are still defrosting from the scraping the snow off the car. But good morning, everyone. And for those that don't know who I am, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. I am an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses, their offices, clean their cars on the spot without water and with our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And what I love about the company that I run is our youth entrepreneurship program, which we're going to start recruiting for in February. So if you know somebody in high school or college or even out of school that's looking for a job in the summer or has trouble getting a job in the summer, definitely send them our way. Check out detailingnights.ca. And if you go to the Youth Entrepreneurship Program link, you'll see how to sign up. And hey, I can show them they have the potential to start their own businesses so that they can become job creators instead of job seekers. And rocking the PACU shirt back today. It stands for the Pan-African Credit Union. So if you want to see a Black-led and Black-serving financial institution come into being, definitely go to pacu.ca and pledge and become part owner of this upcoming credit union.
Okay, we got lots of stuff on the front end to get through before we start getting the conversation this morning. So first things first, we have a sponsor for today's conversation. And this episode of The Morning Vibe is sponsored by Ebony Occasions. Why not add a special touch to Valentine's Day? Yes, Valentine's Day is a month away, guys and ladies. By giving a culturally relevant card, go to ebonyoccasions.com to shop for your culturally relevant cards. And for holidays like Valentine's Day and any other special occasions, whatever the Ebony occasion, they have you covered. Now, what I'm going to also do, family, as we take that off the screen, they have a very special offer. So what you need to do is go to Ebony Occasions. There's a link on the screen, .com/discount Ebony10. The coupon code is for the website is Ebony.10, and this entitles customers for a 10% discount off their order. Only one promotion per purchase. Yes. Right now, I know people are visual, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna show you what you need to do.
Nice.
So what I'm gonna do is we're going to put up the site on your screen, and we're just going to walk through like we're going to be putting an order for a card. So I'm going to put up on the screen here the website address, ebonyoccasions.com/discount/ebony10. This is what comes up. All right. So what I'm going to do is, what we're going to do is this. We are going to shop now. Well, that's Earthstrong King. I need to do for Valentine's Day. Hold on. Let me go back. All right. So there's a Valentine's Day. You click on that.
Cool.
And say I wanted to order this. So I'd add it to cart. Check out. Okay. So it's going to go to this screen. And then you see discount code, Ebony 10. I would click on Ebony 10 and you see it's lowered the cost. Let me just do it here, Ebony 10. Because I know people are visual, so we need to do the visual thing. Apply. There you go. So you type it in there, and there it's done. So we've actually, and you see at the top there, the Ebony 10, less 79 cents, which is 10% of your total order. All right. So we have done the promo for today.
See, your missus is going to enjoy that because now you're ahead of the game. You got your card ready to go.
Or if you're a lady, you can give it to your guy.
Hey,
right. So
yes.
Both ways. Love,
Very
love.
true.
So a few things. So that's Ebony Occasions. Thank you so much. You'll be seeing one or two more promos during this month for that. As always, if you want, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and also like it on Facebook. If you subscribe on YouTube, and it's the same thing with Ryan's YouTube. Not only subscribe, but click the notification bell. That is very important. The notification bell, really, really important. Next up, if you want to learn about how to start a podcast, I am hosting a 3-part webinar for an organization called Innovation Guelph on January 19th, February 2nd, and February 16th to talk all things podcasting. It's a free, highly interactive series. There is the link. Now, interesting enough, they have been promoting that like crazy on their channels,
Nice.
which is, and I'm going to park on that because we got to talk about that later. But the funny thing is, and the director of their organization is wanting to meet with me to see if there's further opportunities. So we have to talk about promoting each other, right? Because and they're promoting it even on their LinkedIn page,
right?
So that's one of the things. And also we're giving away still 2023 calendar for frequency event promotion. So anyone who makes a comment on this, you'll qualify. Also, if you want, tomorrow night, catch me on State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala. We haven't been on for a few weeks, so they are back. And America has not been sleeping. Lots of things been going on in America over the last few weeks.
Yes.
So catch that on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube and Facebook channel. And then Monday morning, Dr. Tachi is back. Woo. She'll be talking about media. We didn't finish the media conversation 2022, so we got to close it down and then look what to look for in media 2023. And I think we are caught up on all the things that are up and coming. So we want to talk about today, Ryan, and also want to do a few other things. Want to say hello to Aldolfina. Thank you so much. And thanks for all your great comments during Elder Louis Marsh he was on fire on Monday. He was on real fire. Yeah. He even
absolutely
use some words he usually doesn't use online during the conversation. So, and that hasn't happened at all. I don't think that's never happened on one of our live conversations. Good morning also to Christopher Lawrence of Frequency Event Promotions. So open season today. Whatever you want to chat about, folks. Chat about it. What do you want to start with, Ryan?
Did want people to know we started testing a new podcast called The Business Lunch on Tuesdays. So it's really I'm trying to track my journey as we expand detailing nights across Canada and into the US. So I'm going to be interviewing resources that I'm using to help me expand. So we had representative from Empowered for X come on our last episode. We're going to have Doug Minter from the Black Chamber of Commerce coming up on the next episode this Tuesday.
Make sure you say Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce, because we have US people saying.
True. And that will be an entity I'm going to be reaching out to. So the Chambers of Commerce in the US, as we're looking at different states. So the Canadian Black Chamber of Commerce is who's coming on. Doug Minter, who runs their mastermind and the Propel mastermind with the Black Chamber. And again, I'm going to be searching for a lot more resources that you can utilize for your business, as if you're starting from scratch or if you're looking to expand. We want to talk about it all. So yeah, join me on Tuesday. It starts at about 12:15, and it's called The Business Lunch. So I'm going to figure out a way to incorporate lunch into it, but it's really...
You know what you need to do? Have your lunch in front of you.
Yeah. So
I'm not just saying.
Something I'm secretly working on is me searching for the best oxtail in Ontario.
I've been told you are a big aficionado of oxtail.
I have to get my Team Oxtail shirt. I know Brandon Gomez, I believe, is a big Team Oxtail. So hopefully we'll cross paths on our search for the best oxtail. So if you know where to get amazing oxtail, and I'll even throw in if it's something that you cook and you say yours is the best, because my dad's is the bar. So
okay, he's a standard.
On the search. So definitely let me know the best spots that you know to find amazing oxtail. I eat it with rice and peas. So if they don't do it with oxtail and rice and peas, it does not qualify.
and of course, it has to have smashing gravy.
The gravy is a given, and it's interesting because some people do it with the lima beans, some people do it without, some people do it with dumplings, those string dumplings. I will say you definitely get bonus points for lima beans and string dumpling. So that's a hint. But a lot of restaurants don't do it. They just do it with sauce and the oxtail. So, yeah.
Okay, so Adafina says, yes, Mondays was a very powerful format. Thank you. Cindy Ann Williams says, congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you, Cindy Ann.
So again, I would actually say people put if you put in comments before, just put them again. I started the giveaway tool a little bit late, so put your comments in there. You will qualify for a calendar. Even though it's early in the year, lots of things going on. A little while back, we were talking about how, I think, is it the Black Caucus, if not the Black Little Liberal Caucus, invited different Black Canadians to an event they had on a Friday afternoon. They gave basically 2 days notice
to get to Ottawa.
Yes,
in person.
to get in person. And yes. I thought that was a little crazy. So I did send, and it's funny, I sent a message to a certain individual who is on part of that caucus. I sent a message and also a video message, which that person hasn't opened yet. I'm tracking.
Yes.
Hasn't opened yet. But then, interesting, in the last few days, or 2 or 3 days ago, I got an email saying, well, we are now looking to have a virtual option of this event. Wow. So I have a feeling that a lot of people didn't show up to the event.
I wouldn't doubt it, because at least 100 budget submissions from the Black community were in. That's what they've said, about more than that. And so I think under 30 people were able to be there.
You're kidding.
The actual event. That's the report that I heard. So that's not representative. So you want everybody to get their voice heard. Yeah. And I mean, I think we've tested virtual, and the last couple times they did it, it worked well, where people had their time slots and everybody got their piece or get to say their piece. So for them to not include it now, we're going backwards. It's like, keep up with the technology.
Absolutely, yeah. You think even a hybrid option. So now they're doing the same thing twice that they only had to do once.
Right.
But interesting enough, who's paying for it?
Yeah, hey, I'm sure they're dipping into their budget coffers.
No,
But
well, we are.
true. But this is
we
where
are.
they should go a step further. And I brought this up when we were at the that media
Oh,
roundtable that we were at
oh
the
yes.
panel, and it's lean into teaching the budget process, because yes, we can have the budget submissions and people that know about it are able to put it in, and then they can go to these follow-up sessions to talk about their submission. But really the process of submitting a budget item and then it going through whatever it goes through, again, I'm trying to learn. So after you submit that budget idea, what happens next? And Marcia Ian mentioned, like, hey, it seems that you want to be part of the process. And it's nice for them to let us tell them what we think should happen. But then it just kind of goes into the ether. We don't really know whose table it lands on. Does it get voted on? Does it have to pass a certain process to get voted on? If it's approved, that whole process, it'd be good to really learn about it.
True. Just catching up here. Christopher Lawrence says, yes, Mr. March was a bit vocal, but it was warranted, which draws me to many more questions. Our early intervention or reintegration work. He also says, Ryan, Jamaica House Restaurant has some good oxtail, Weston Road and Finch.
I did not know Jamaica House is at Weston Road and Finch. Was that the original location? I know of the one in Brampton. So I will definitely put Jamaica House, Weston Road and Finch on the list. Actually, let me take some notes here so I don't forget. I don't want
Have
to
the
miss any
notes.
spots.
Have the notes. So
Yes.
also too, family, we're doing like an open house Friday, and we are also gonna get a date for our next come and join us live session. We had Fitnance IQ Cam a few weeks ago join us on the session, so Ryan and I will decide upon a date where we'll invite you all to come on in. Frequency's got to get his promotions in. January 17th, we're doing virtual discussion around businesses widening their network while in pursuit of promoting your business with others. Stay tuned for more information.
Good
There
stuff.
you go. So I'm sure we will hear more of that. So lots of crazy things going on. We don't talk about entertainment a lot, but I was doing just some quick reading this morning that those people who are fans of Anita Baker is going on tour this year and releasing a new album. And I remember
Look at
back in the
that.
day going to see, and then here's a funny story. I was not an Anita Baker fan.
Okay, right.
And this is going back to my days in the entertainment industry. Oh, look who's in the house, Justin Sr.
Yes, sir.
What is going on, Justin Sr.? Long time, and I hope the new arrival to your family is doing fine and keeping
congrats.
healthy.
Yes.
So hope to hear from you soon, Justin. I have sent one or two messages to you, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, and so Anita Baker, I was not a fan of Anita Baker, and at that time I was employed in the music entertainment industry, and went to an Anita Baker concert. This is interesting. This is going to date some people, but on one side was the great Jackie Richardson, and the other side of me was Salome Bay.
Okay, yes.
And they were getting into that concert, and I said, you know what? I better like this show.
Right. You're caught up in the vibe, right?
Yeah, they were getting right into it. So then after I had the opportunity, so we went backstage after the show. And there is Anita, and she's not tall. She can't be more than like 5'2", 5'3".
Really?
And there she was, white tracksuit, playing pinball.
Okay. Oh, pinball.
Nice. So it was so hilarious, but she was so nice, so kind, so respectful. Really, really, really good stuff.
So I didn't get to ask you.
Okay, Aldofina says, Anita Baker. Justin says, Happy New Year, right back at you. Adolfina says, my dad used to dance me to sleep just because you're you. Oh, yeah, classic stuff. And Adolfina goes, let's go. All right. What's up, Ryan? Talk to me.
So I'm not sure if you saw, I believe it was Rolling Stone magazine did the top 200 singers of all time.
I've heard about it. I didn't hear details.
So
Talk
the
to me.
controversy was, out of the 200 all-time Celine Dion was not on the list. And so I believe
Yeah,
number
I
one.
heard a lot of people. I heard some people were getting ruckus about that.
So number one was Aretha Franklin. So I don't think
Okay.
anybody really argued. And on the list were interesting choices where I believe Michael Jackson was below Paul McCartney. People were in arms about that. So Billie Eilish is on this list, and Burna Boy is on this list. And so people were naming the people that are on this list, and then like, how did Celine Dion not get on it? And so I was curious your thoughts if you do consider Celine Dion top. Like, is it them trying to get the new blood into the conversation, or because it's tough to do those all-time rankings?
And before I go any further, Fitnet's IQ is in the house saying, "Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Fitnets. We're going to be doing another invite of our family on live, so we hope that you come back and say a little bit more this time." By the way,
Right, yes.
She does say yes. Was she there? Celine Dion is a Jamaican queen, and that's what I was thinking.
It was a Jamaican podcaster.
She's queendom in Jamaica.
So that's what he was saying, is that all of Jamaica is going crazy that she's not on this list. And so he was breaking it down. I was like, man, I have to be with him on that. I don't know. And again, of course, Canadian, we should be rallying behind her to say like, yo, Billie Eilish, better singer than Celine. That's a very tough sell for me.
Well, for me, a few things. I'll be honest. I've never been a fan of Celine Dion. I don't get it with her, to be honest. But
I mean, the voice is there. It's like she's had some timeless hits.
Well, Aldafina. Oh, okay. So Aldafina goes, people singing using computers should have a separate list.
Thank you. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Fitnet's IQ goes, ha 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 about and she's in the house, Dr. Tachi. We already gave you big promo. Dr. Tachi's back with it. We said you're back with us on Monday talking about Media 2022, Media 2023, and also catch her on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Instagram Live, and also 6 p.m. live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of the things. Nice. So catch her on Media Scope, the best online conversation.
I didn't see if Aaliyah is on this list. But if
she go, well, Dr. Jaji goes, Billie Eilish.
That's what I'm saying. If Billie Eilish is on there and someone like Aaliyah is not on there, I'm gonna have to write a letter, because her song, like One in a Million, started trending to number one last year above Billie Eilish. And so there are people that singing vocally wise, Billie Eilish isn't a vocalist. I mean, not from what I've heard. Like, I've listened to her songs. And it's not. I don't consider. Like,
Christopher goes, I'm starting my singing career now.
All you need is an ill beat now. Like, if you put a proper rhythmic, hypnotic sound behind anything you're saying, and you can say a lot of foolishness that I'm noticing, because in my elder years, I've turned 40 now. I feel like the last 10 years, every song that I listen to, I actually listen to the lyrics now. And so back in dancehall songs, their lyrics are just disgusting.
Okay. Actually, and Justin Sr., thank you. The little one's doing great, and I'll work on those responses. Thank you. Well, we talk about music. Guess what two bands from the 80s are doing a reunion tour together?
Oh, no idea.
If I said the song Can You Stand the Rain?
Oh, dear. I know. That's not New Edition.
New Edition's one of the bands. And the other band, it was a three-piece band led by one of the most prolific R&B producers of that time, who basically branded a style of music called New Jack Swing.
Oh, man. I should know it, but I don't. Actually, I don't know.
You don't know? Anyone in the comments? Who was the creator of New Jack Swing? Yeah, okay, there you go. Dr. Tachi has a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even Ray from the McMillan Group, Guy. There you go, Christopher Lawrence,
Nice.
Ted all this. Yeah, so Teddy Riley and Guy. So yeah, I was just seeing the last few days. I don't do a lot of social media. I just go on for a few seconds. But yes, New Edition and Guy are going to be touring in the U.S.
Okay.
And I believe it's the original Guy members are going to be touring. New Edition have had some obviously changes over the years, but that should be a very, very, very interesting tour. Christopher Lawrence, it ain't going to happen. The Morning Vibe featuring, it ain't going to be featuring me.
Yes.
Because I only sing in the shower by myself, in the car by myself. So you ain't getting no bootlegs on that guy. You're not getting it, but yeah.
Hey, didn't we have is it pronounced Sade that we interviewed?
Yes.
And hey, she could help us put together an album. A rock album.
You got a point there. You got a
Right?
point there. But yeah,
Right,
Teddy.
throw it
So
out.
Guy and New Edition are going to be touring, which should be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting
Nice.
tour to see how that goes off. And again, so here we go, Ryan. Who would you rather see? So I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Oh boy.
Ray says, still the original New Edition. Johnny was a late addition. Oh, okay. All right. So is Bobby going to be with them? I haven't looked in the details. So who would you so pop quiz for everybody here. Who would you rather see in concert? Anita Baker and Babyface, or Guy and New Edition?
Oh wow. You see, I'd be able to sing to more New Edition songs. Anita Baker, I know you like if I hear it, I would know it and like it, but probably not be able to sing along. Yeah, man. But I've actually never been to a proper concert. So I would just be interested to be at a concert. So yeah, whoever's coming to which of them have a Canadian date? So
if that's going to be interesting to see if any of them have a Canadian date. I would think out of the two that would have a Canadian date, maybe New Edition and Guy more than Anita Baker and Babyface.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, so here we go. We answers already. Christopher Lawrence would rather take New Edition and Guy.
Okay.
Ray says both.
Okay.
Dr. Tachi makes a good point. I want to see both. They have different feels.
Yeah,
Agree.
I feel that
she
too.
says, I adore Anita Baker. Absolutely. Our friend David Hughes from Australia, he says, I remember when rock was young. And now, so here's a pop quiz. Now that is a lyric from a very, very famous old song done by one of the most prolific pop artists of all time. Does anyone know where that line, what song that line is from? I remember when rock was young.
No idea.
And the next line after that is, me and Susie had so much fun. Probably wouldn't, people would probably not know. So I'll give you a few moments to see if anyone. Here's another thing too. Hey, someone sent a recording of Judge McLeod. He does sing. He is in a band. Yes.
Selections with Tim Frey, who is.
Yes. So Judge McCall is a very good singer. So Christopher, no, not Sting. And then David, yes, me and Susie had so much fun. Yes. And Dr. Tachi is right. She spelled it wrong. Crocodile Rock. Now, who sung Crocodile Rock? Who sung Crocodile Rock? Mr. Hughes is right. EJ, Elton John.
Okay.
So one of his all-time classics. Look at, what's wild? Here we go, Cindy. Cindy goes, holding hands and skipping stones. So they're getting. So we got the first. That's amazing. And then yes, Billy Joel and Elton John. Interesting. I think at one time they actually did a tour together.
Wow.
I believe they did in history. That you see, and look who jumps on. Tim Frey. He jumps on now once we mention his name. And McMillan Group, Elton. Yes. But to me, why are you saying that? Fitting that straight trash? What do you mean by that?
Which one?
I don't even mean by that. But you know what? one of the tours I would love to see together, Elton John and Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Both keyboard players, great
Yeah.
keyboard players. Though Stevie wrote all his music, all that stuff. Though Elton, for the highlight of his career, that highlight years had his songs written by a gentleman named Bernie Taupin. But I would love to. I think that'd be a
Hey,
great
would that
concert.
pull Elton out of retirement?
He ain't retired yet. He's still touring.
Wasn't that his last tour? He did his stop in England.
Elton is. I checked.
Is it the
Elton
fake
is still-
retirement like Jay-Z? He just does.
It's still. There's still. He's still touring. Hayton goes, hey, more. Hey, if I'm going with a lady, definitely Anita with the boys' new edition.
Yeah.
So you're taking each one. All right, no problem. I'd be interested to know, has anyone seen Babyface live?
And that's what I was gonna ask. Is he actually performing, or is he just helping produce?
No, I think he's going to be
tour?
performing. He's going to be performing, but I've never seen him live. The clip I always remember of him performing live is when he was on the Arsenio Hall show, and it is on YouTube for folks. See him perform Whip Appeal on Arsenio Hall. Classic.
Okay.
YouTube, it's classic. Classic.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that. I like it.
But there was a time back in the 80s that, especially when it came to R&B, well, there were three dominant R&B production teams. There was LA and Babyface, there was Teddy Riley, and there was Jam and Lewis.
Okay, solid.
You know, so here's a little interesting fact. David Hughes, I saw Stevie Wonder in Cheshire, UK when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Wow. It was 1968 ? And he was touring in man, seeing Stevie Wonder at 1968?
Wow.
What?
That's amazing.
What? Justin Sr. says, either way, I'm listening to them all the rest of the day. Good stuff. No,
Yes.
So they were like Elton John stuff for many, many years. Classic stuff. Stevie Wonder, like one of my all-time favorite albums is Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Masterpiece. And then Elton John, my favorite Elton John album is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Mint stuff. Ray goes, Jazz Show in Jacksonville. He's an amazing live performing. Who is that? Babyface are you talking about? Okay. And then Justin Sr. goes, Arsenio! Oh, yes. And you know what? Has there been another talk show like Arsenio Hall's show ever?
Man,
you think about the guests that he brought on. Like, he had Prince on his show.
Yeah, he had like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali on the same.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
On the same couch.
It was Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Like stuff like that's never been duplicated, man.
Yeah. There's so Fitnats Cam has a comment. Yes, most new music is straight trash. That was your comment, okay.
Because I was saying, listening to lyrics now, you're like, what are people talking about? Even some songs in the past that like you'd rock to the beat and just not really listen. Now I listen, I'm like, whoa, either it was quite heavily sexual and it was just completely absorbed subconsciously, or they're rapping about garbage.
So Fitness IQ Cam, that's hard, but I love New Edition. Frequency Event says music in capital letters is so needed. Ray goes, Babyface, his arsenal is impressive. Yes, he's production wise, fantastic. Singing wise, he's okay. I think he's all right. And Ray goes, Arsenio is the GOAT. Can't be duplicated white or black. I agree with that. His show,
I can't think of anybody else that's
and you notice something interesting? That I guess it's Fox that owns that show. You've never seen it being available for buying. You have to, once in a while you'll catch the rare thing online, but there's no way you can access it. So should be interesting to ask Arsenio Hall saying, have you ever asked to get the rights of your show? I'm sure they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
they won't. Well, even
I can't see him not requesting that.
But they're not going to give it up. Even Different World. Now, how many people watch Different World?
Okay, yes.
Okay. the characters wanted to make a reboot of it, and I think it's Warner Brothers said no. And also, they have trademarked Whitley's character. So
Trademark the
she
character.
can't imitate that character in any sort of.
Wow.
They have that locked down.
But you see how important intellectual property is?
Yes.
I mean, you don't, well, a lot of us haven't thought about it at the time when signing these contracts. But then down the road, look, it's what, 20, 30 years later, you realize so much of your rights and access to your own intellectual property is locked away somewhere where people have the decision, they can make the decision about a person that you create, like a character you created. They can say you cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, they Warner Brothers owns that character. Yep. So let's continue on. And that's family, madness. Thank you. You're really into the conversation. We didn't know we were going to chat about today, and it's just blown up to a whole different level. Christopher goes, Ryan, I think it's more about sonics, the sound and the beat of the song and the hook that is mostly remembered of the track, in my opinion, now versus later. Dr. Tachi says, Different World is my all-time favorite.
Nice.
Justin says, Dwayne Wayne. And Dr. Tachi says, the importance of owning the rights to your IP. Critically important, family.
Now.
Critically important, owning your rights. And that's,
and you can just use these stories to educate people. It's like what Prince went through, his whole like revolt against the system. Well, Michael Jackson owning a lot of, but him actually buying the rights to other masters showed how powerful it could be. And these are things that need to be inherently taught to anybody that's trying to get into the entertainment industry, especially as an artist.
Well, knowing the business side, right? And again, that's still one of the weakest sides for many an artist, that they don't own it. They don't own it. Like, you know, if people are old enough, remember Prince saying, you know what, I own my masters, etc. Now, on the other end, Prince died without a will. That's a whole other conversation.
True. Yes.
So, but you know that it's true. And Donna's saying, and they treated the cast on that show so terribly. We're talking about Different World. Aldofino says, I grew up on Different World. She also says, gotta read the fine print always. Absolutely.
But that's where it's leverage, right? Because a lot of times these artists are so young and they don't have any leverage because there was really no alternative. So you're sitting in a room with execs and lawyers, and you know, like they have all the power. But now, and Damon Dash talks a lot about this, that power has shifted because people can control their own distribution now with YouTube and online platforms.
Digital properties. Well, but again, you don't only have to think about traditional distribution of content, but the digital distribution of content is really, really important in that regard. And you know, own it big time. Very, very important, because, and that's why you got to get educated about business, or be with people that know and have your best business interests.
And that's another thing that's very difficult. So it's like from every angle, the people that you think are on your side are not doing things in your best interest. It's a tough gauntlet to navigate, man. It can be very disheartening seeing these stories.
So Tim Frey comes up here, says intellectual property is not only about controlling characters in the music industry. It's your name. They can own it. So it's much more about depth of what it means to be a slave to date organizations. Yeah, even your name. Again, we were talking about that earlier about Whitley character in Different World. She can't play that character unless she gets approval from Warner Brothers.
That's madness.
So
absolutely madness.
So if they would want to do a reboot of that series, they could not do it independently. They'd have to get permission, especially for her character, to portray that character. You know, look at this. Own and operated. Absolutely. Ray says Malcolm Jamal Warner was on the Breakfast Club yesterday, shared some good insight about being young, black, and an entertainer and managing a career. He has done well for himself.
I
I've read,
became a fan because, of course, Theo was a fan there, but then he's on a show called The Resident, and so it's like more of a serious role. I was like, yo, I don't know if I can get Theo out of my head, but he is an excellent, excellent actor. I'm a big fan of his ever since seeing him on that show. But I didn't know how big of a musician he was. He was talking about that on the Breakfast Club as well.
yeah, he has done very well for himself business wise post A Different World. I think probably of all those characters, he has probably done the best business wise post that. Like he really, it sounds like he's took some time to invest and get knowledge about the business world.
Right.
So he sounds like he's done very well for himself, but you know, it's the same thing over and over again. We're talking about these things over and over again. You know your business, know your intellectual property.
Absolutely.
Ray says extremely well, and he's kept his life squeaky clean. Amazing musician too, and spoken word artist. There you go.
Excellent. Love that.
He has done himself well. So keep on bringing the comments in, folks. But so this morning I get up. You know where I'm going with this, Ryan.
Yes.
So I have some food, all that. I don't look at my screens. I eat first, by the way, people. I look at my screen. Someone sends me a message at 5:28 a.m.
Right.
So here's the message. Gala watch. And there's a link. Guess who sent me that message at 5:28 in the morning?
Amen.
Guess who sent me that message?
I got
the gentleman that's beside me in the screen.
And I blame the snow. I was up scraping our car. So, but we have to actually have a segment of our show called Gala Watch, or the awards, something. We have to come. Actually, Christopher Lawrence, if you can come up with a name for this segment. But we love galas and award shows. Like it's out of. I don't. And again, not to knock anybody and any organization that's doing a gala, because it can act as a good fundraiser. And hey, I attend them. I like the support. But just now that I'm aware and seeing all the announcements, I think I've counted 12 that are happening in 2023. So I'm going to create a calendar. We already have our Black events calendar on acbncanada.com. So I'm going to update this calendar with all the galas that are happening. And we're going to create a segment called Gala Watch. And I'll bring to you what the next gala is. So the next one, if anybody did see, the Black North Initiative has their gala and award show on January 21st, the Saturday. And so for a brief amount of time, they opened up additional tickets. So they said they were sold out. And they're like, oh, now we have additional tickets. So that seems to be the hot ticket because it's sold out again. So I'm going to be out there on the red carpet interviewing people as they come in, because I'm very curious to see who's going to be supporting our community through this event. Unfortunately, it is not at a Black-owned establishment, although there are not many Black-owned banquet halls, so I will give them that. I believe it's at the Weston Harbor. But yeah, and that right after that, there's at least 3 in February, and the list goes on. This one, did it say when it is? June. So this one that I sent to Dr. Vibe in the morning is the UpCity, which is the Black Professionals in Technology Network, where they're doing their awards. So they have their nominations out. So again, hey, head to upcity.com, nominate an excellent person that you know in the Black community in technology, and enjoy the gala in June and award show. But we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on all these galas.
Gala watch. All right. So just to keep on going with A Different World was so influential. Absolutely. And of course, I knew this was coming from Dr. Tachi Laud, not Gala watch. With a sort of emoji after that.
Dr. Tachi, hey, I'm open to better names for that segment. But yes.
Yes, and of course, Dr. Tacha say she's tired of eating rubber chicken. Tim Frey says, "What is the cost of all these galas? Could have gone to owning a commercial building or a thriving franchise?" Hello,
Right, right.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
And
Well, Ryan will be at these things. I don't really do too many of them anymore, and I more when I chat with people about these things, I get the message. I'm tired of the gala. Hayden goes, "I'm Jamaican. I thought gala watch would be looking at marrying women." Line of the day. Line of the. I'm not even going to repeat
that's
it.
too good.
You just read it, folks. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
That's why
that's
you
too
need to
good.
hang out with the Morning Vibe. We educate, we entertain, we enlighten, we empower.
This
We
guy
empower.
said
We
gala
all in one wrap. Oh my
oh
goodness,
man,
Gal!
I love
Oh
that.
my gosh!
Yes,
And
I'm sure that's in
and
a
it's
a
so
dancehall
good
song.
that David Hughes from Australia goes, "That's funny, when we're getting some love from down under, you know."
Oh man, I love it. I
On
love it.
Watch would be looking for. You know who? You know who I've got to tell that? I got to tell Dr. Alicia that one. I've got to see how she's going to respond.
Okay, yes.
That is funny. But yes, the Gala Watch, and it's not like people have disposable income.
Yo, inflation is out of control. Like they had the joke meme about the four
Chicken
breasts of chicken for
for
$37.
$37.
This is like it's out of control and like unexplainable. So that's where now there's a body in the government that is calling these grocery stores to be interviewed to
Oh,
understand
whatever.
why these prices are
Whatever.
going. But it must be explained. This cannot it's
Yeah.
way beyond.
It's
the
one thing
explanation.
that explain, but what's going to be done about it? It's the same thing with gas companies. Yes, they talk to them, but does anything change? Maybe for the short term.
Yeah.
Like there are people who can afford that, but here's the more funny, more concerning part. I bet you a lot of that chicken doesn't get bought and it goes to waste, which brings to another
Look at
thing too
that.
about food insecurity. It's
Yes.
interesting. Christopher's saying they say 10 is like 96,000 country to inflation, but I have a gentleman who lives beside me who's been working in the food grocery industry for years and years and years, and a little while back we're having a conversation, and I said to him, like, what happens to the food that you don't get sold? He said, well, we used to be able to give it to food banks, but now we don't, because if anyone gets sick from it, the company would get sued.
Oh wow.
So the food waste is really bad. Dr. Tachi goes, I'm boycotting eggs until the chickens call off the Oh, the lot between Hayden's comment and Dr. Tachi's comment, this show has gone off the rails. It's officially gone off the rails. Fitness IQ Cam goes, let's not forget the 30. That's what we're talking about.
This is too much.
Like, man. It's just crazy. It's But here's another thing now, and I was chatting with someone the other day. How many people who are watching this, especially live, do you cook at home? Because buying food out is expensive.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, so Donna brings up an interesting point. Do we still have a Better Business Bureau? I know one exists, but it's never been really effective. We should find them. Yeah, it's not going to make a big difference. Better Business Bureau is just a name, right?
Yeah.
Number of things have impacted. One of the biggest is the doubling cost of warehousing space. There was also a great retirement during COVID, so there is no staff. Cost of staff has increased. That has been one of the things, definitely. Great point, Ray, that's been impacted since the pandemic. Labor costs. Because companies now have to pay more to get labor.
Right.
Don't
there's a shortage for real.
There's a sort, especially you look at the restaurant industry, big time. big time.
And the margins are already so thin. Now, if you have to
Especially in
pay
the food
so much
business,
more
yeah,
for
the food
labor,
business, the margins are very, very thin. So when they have to increase the labor costs, they have to. It comes onto us.
yes,
Christopher Lawrence makes it. I think leftover food not used is a tax expense. Don't quote me. I'm not sure of that. I don't. If someone knows a little bit better, like this, you got to feel sorry for Tim Cook, CEO of Microsoft. He's actually the CEO of Apple. He just agreed to a pay cut of 40%, which leaves him $26 million for 2023.
right.
Okay, we got smart
Yeah,
people here. If you're here for the first time, we got smart and funny people here.
Wow.
Ray says, while
mil.
fuel costs have stabilized, there are many other costs that have increased significantly. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like definitely gas has not been crazy, at least in the greater Toronto area for the last little while. I know in the US the price has gone down, but everything else is going up still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything else has gone up. So how has costs prices impacted the family as they're watching Life Fear, fitness IQ counts. So the convenience though of eating out versus making dinner. That's why I try to make food for a few days.
Right.
And also people have schedules and lives. People are living like traveling lots of time. Like I do most of my work from home, so I can cook at home. Right. But other people have to travel, etc. It's not always easy. And time.
Yes.
McMillan Group, $15 employees now costing up to 20 to 25 per hour. Yep. Warehouse space has gone from $10 per square foot to upwards of $20 per square foot now.
Man, look
that's
at that.
100% increase.
What?
Wow.
And this all compounds together and then just layers.
Wow. Ray, consumer pays for everything, sadly. You know what would be very interesting? If we could get, and maybe when Janice and Marie come back, the steps from, let's take an orange, wherever it's grown, and the process of it getting to the grocery store, and how the costs increase incrementally each part of the process.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, Hayton, smart. Who can live on $26 million? Don't
worry, we'll do a GoFundMe for them. We'll help him out.
Who can live on $26 million? Are you? Interesting point here. I used to get excited when I hear the minimum wage is going up, but when I realized that everything else is going up, gas, bread, milk, eggs, this is not a good thing if you're trying to be an overnight millionaire. It certainly ain't. It certainly ain't. Yeah, because again, but everything is reliant on the price of gas. So remember, the price of gas now is a lot higher than it was 2 or 3 years ago. So and it's probably never, unless we have another pandemic, going to go back to low levels again. The new low level is higher than the new low level 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Man, you know, so it's a really challenging environment out there. So how, again, everyone else, if you're here live, we'll keep on for another few minutes. How are you handling? That's what I want. Handling the increasing costs of living. You know, Fitnet's Cam said, she tries to make food last for a few days. Yeah. And Tim says to Christopher, what is an overnight millionaire? Never heard of that one.
Right.
There you go. What's an overnight millionaire? You got to fess up there, Chris.
Yes.
Look at this. Food bank usage is expected to go up. How much this year?
Look at this.
Wow.
And it's wild because
that would be a good person to get on. Someone from the Toronto Food Bank.
Yeah, and imagine people that didn't need to use the food bank before now getting into that category. That's where it's causing a lot of strain.
That's a good guest suggestion, Ray. Get someone from the food bank and really from the front lines. Like I've heard reports on the radio. They're saying, more and more people are wanting. Yeah. Adafina says, yes, Yes, commercial spaces in Toronto have more than doubled. Holy smokes.
That's wild.
Wow.
I believe it. Yeah, man.
Well, and it's interesting. I haven't been to downtown Toronto in a long time. I avoid it because I can't stand the traffic. But I'd like
Yes.
to just see what's going on, and maybe Ray would know or others just what's going on commercial real estate wise. We all hear about what's going on residential wise, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with housing this year too.
Definitely.
But wow, commercial space has more than doubled. Whew. Wow.
And that's where, as things pile onto each other, it just causes prices to keep creeping up, and then
Yep.
it creates that
Hayden
new
goes.
minimum.
Yeah, he says got to start thinking entrepreneurially. If
True.
absolutely, if you that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other conversation. And just another interesting conversation topic, everyone. Has anyone been watching what's going on with Bitcoin and what's the name Friedman who got arrested?
Oh,
What's the name?
Sam Bankman-Friedman.
Yes, about the whole crypto marketplace. Is anyone
What?
into crypto? Is anyone into crypto here? I'm just saying curiously.
I've dabbled. I've bought like Bitcoin and Solana and some of the other fringe coins they call them. But watching the FTX whole debacle, it's interesting the way that he's being treated as a criminal. So he's in the Bahamas, and I see a note. So for those, sorry, that don't know, FTX was currency exchange, so a platform where you could exchange for different coins. And they had a research firm called Alameda that does investments. So
Yep.
they kind of decide on how to invest buckets of money, like a hedge fund. So there's some fraud going on between the two because FTX is supposed to be where people can put their money and then exchange for coins. But the research firm was using customers' deposits and investing in high risk security, like different types of high risk investments, which is illegal. So
Yep.
that brought FTX now. What really brought them down is they created their own coin as well. So FTT was something that people could now buy, and so those deposits were being used by the investment firm. And then there, it goes really deep. But
Yeah.
one thing that kind of allowed the floodgates to open is there's another coin exchange called Binance. So
Yes, and they were
Binance,
ratting out FTX.
so what they did is because they had dealings, and what FTX did was give Binance a whole bunch of their coins, like billion, like 2 billion or something.
Yeah.
So Binance decided to withdraw all their money. So imagine if you have a fund and people are holding the fund. So just like a stock, if everybody just dumps the stock, it crashes that stock. So that's what Binance did by pulling out all their money in FTT, which now opened a lot of questions because people also started pulling their money and then money wasn't there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So the fraud goes so deep. But what I'm curious about now, so he's in the Bahamas, the guy that owns FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, and I see a note that he agreed to be extradited to the U.S.
Yep.
I was like,
Yep.
agreed?
Yep.
What choices does this guy have? This guy's
and I think he got out on bail, and his parents are very well off too.
It goes so deep. I mean, and connected to government.
Oh yeah,
and like high level security and MCC, like the whole. You want to talk about white privilege at play? Read up on this story. It is fascinating.
Let's catch up on some things. Christopher says, "Me too, me too, Tim. Still trying to figure out that one too. Heard it too, and it sounded like doing better than food, conquering inflation times 20%. I think that's that overnight millionaire thing. I know that Dr. Tachi is into crypto. Yes. Fitnet says it's been challenging surviving the times, but she'll push through. Absolutely. They're taking the name off the FTX arena, which is true. And also some of the endorsees of crypto were people like Robert Kraft. If you don't know who that is, he's the owner of the NFL's New England Patriots.
Tom Brady.
and his wife Giselle Bundchen. Also,
Kevin O'Leary.
Shaq.
Yes.
And it seems that there's a whole bunch of people suing all these people saying, hey, you told me that was a good thing. So there's lawsuits. It's going to be going on
a
for a
lot of
while.
them got paid in that FTT coin that they created that didn't exist really. And look at, they were so ingrained. They were endorsing politicians. I think they funded the most Democrats or across the board. They put their name on the Miami Arena.
Yes,
this thing was huge.
It's a big thing. It's a big mess. So Ray's goes, with many businesses shifting to an online model, the cost of commercial industrial is now in serious demand. Look at the number of storage facilities across North America. Great investment opportunity. Well, Ray, we're going to ask you about that the next time you come on, which is a week from today. We'll talk about that, part of your monthly conversation. Alafina says, I'm looking to relocate. How far away from Toronto are you willing to go? Right? You're saying YYZ is not for me, but how far off? And that's another thing that Ray preaches, that don't think Toronto's the be-all, end-all. Right. Dr. Tachi says, here's my question. How is this criminally different from Wells Fargo's creating false accounts and products? Not a thing happened to them. Good point. Right?
And that is, man, we should have a full show on the financial industry and how, because what happened with the 2008 crash, a lot of those people didn't get criminally charged either. Wells Fargo create fake bank accounts under customers' names just so that they can get their bonus. A lot of this stuff is
it's very shady. Very shady.
But that's what FTX now, because the way that they were able to move money is very similar to how the whole industry as a whole moves money. It's just typically the same entity doesn't own both sides. So it can be hidden a bit, like it's spread out. But it's really the same thing. It's like we put deposits at the bank, they leverage it and invest it, but they only can invest it in low risk investment vehicles. So what Alameda was doing was investing in like super risky, which is illegal, but it's literally the same thing that banks do. And like Tachi was saying, Wells Fargo is like, there's really no clean players in the financial industry. There's just different levels of
crookery.
it's like
of crookery.
Different levels of it.
Of crookery.
That's why we need Paku to come on the scene so that we can be creating our own financial institutions that will, I hope, have a very low level of I won't even say that. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do better.
Yes. Fitness cues. I'm not into crypto, but trying to be familiar. Christopher says, me too, Tim, trying to figure that one. I heard the term sound like doing better. Okay, we got that. So to answer your question, Tim, it sounds good and self-sufficient. Dr. Tati says, I'm not saying nothing should have happened to FTX, of course. However, I think it was more of an attack on crypto by the established banking system rather than anything. I don't doubt that.
There's a conspiracy that this was like a plant where they ran this thing up to show how dangerous it can be. And now all the regulations are going to start to flow in because they can use this as the poster child of the wild west of Bitcoin needs to be controlled, or cryptocurrency needs to be controlled. And hey, they did a good job because this was a pretty heavy hit. Was a wild one.
Tim says government recovery loans that small business took up is coming up for repayment. Yes, most small businesses haven't fully recovered now, and it's time to pay the loan back. Actually, I was talking to a business owner last night, and she says her loan is due at the end of this year. And she ain't doing great financially.
And we got lucky because it was supposed to be due at the end of last year. And then within December, they said, hey, we're going to extend it another year. So it could have hit.
And the economy is not the greatest. That I think that we need to have a story or conversation about that, because I think a lot of melanated Canadian business owners are probably a little bit stressed about this upcoming payment.
And one thing, just to circle back to FTX real quick, the teachers' pension fund here in Canada had invested and
Ontario.
lost $90 million. The same fund that was telling organizations that I've been part of in the impact investing world how investing in social enterprises and up and coming BIPOC businesses is risky and too high risk for their fund. And then to learn they
Wow.
threw 90 million at this new
Wow.
up and
I
coming,
didn't know that.
man, they have a
Wow.
lot of explaining to do. And
Well,
that's
I'm sure
90
you're going to
million
bring that
of
up to them the next time you're in an environment with them.
yes, if
I'd love.
they return my call.
I'll be waiting the crickets to that answer.
Exactly.
Wow.
They
Okay.
already wrote that off.
Hayden says, how much of the state economy is a result of billionaires and powerful multinationals gouging more and more obscene profits? It's called capitalism, unfortunately. That's what it's really called. Capitalism. David Hughes says, Bitcoin is up tonight. 19. See, and that's the thing. If you bought Bitcoin 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, you're laughing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when Bitcoin first came out, I'm thinking, and I listened to something the other day that it was about $400 US. So then this is again the psychology. Can you buy and hold on something for the long term? Because if you bought Bitcoin when it first came out, when people are saying, oh, Bitcoin's dropping now, well, for my $400 US investment, it's now worth $19,000. I'm good.
But remember, it's a wild ride.
So it is.
Bitcoin has gone up
the risk,
like 60,000.
Yeah, but the thing is you're still making money from your original $400 investment, right? And I have a feeling it will go back up again if you're willing to wait.
Yeah,
right, because the
people's hearts handle that ride.
Exactly. And I love David Hughes. We now have our stock taker. I'm watching the Dow and listening to you as well. I love it. Yes. This is sort of the family God here. And Hayden says, sounds like the Bernie Madoff. Exactly. Bernie was the poster boy.
100%. And people they learn. It's like that's where that shadiness, crookedness comes in, because it's the same concept where you're taking money in and then, well, the Ponzi scheme's a bit different because there's actually no true investment that they're putting the money into. They're just saying the next group of people that come in pays the people that came in initially, and eventually it falls apart. But when you take people's money and actually do try to invest it, that you're not supposed to even, because a Ponzi scheme, people are putting money in to get invested. So that's where it's like, because there's no investment there, it's a lot more shady. But when people put money, it's like if we put our money into the bank that we're expecting to be able to withdraw, and we go to the bank and that money is not there, that we didn't agree for it to be invested into risky securities, that's where the level, because that whole trust factor is very damaged. Like when cryptocurrency is trying to get their footing and stuff like this happens, it erodes so much trust in it that it might be difficult to actually come back from this in a strong way. But like you said, Bitcoin's up, so maybe it was just a bump in the road.
If you're willing to go in it for the long term, that's the thing. Long term, are you risk adverse? How risk adverse are you? That's a term. Fitness IQ Cam says, I need to watch that on Netflix. Yes, there's a documentary on Bernie Madoff on that. I know there are one or two other questions. We're in Bosun's time right now, family. No worries. Braces perhaps can get someone from the OFSI on the show, Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions. Are they ready for that? Get a clear sense of risk and reward and what is fraudulent and what is criminal and how to navigate it.
And that's something. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Christopher says Tim Frey is really going to be interested with that repayment piece. Yes. Go ahead, Ryan.
The risk reward of these types of criminal activities is very interesting conversation. And I don't know how many people watch Fight Club, but the main character in Fight Club worked for an automobile company, and his job was to assess accidents and determine the risk versus reward of doing a recall of the car or just dealing with the lawsuits. If you watch Wolf on Wall Street, this guy that movie was made about is out now making money. Like, so all that crazy, illegal, shady stuff that he did, he was able to do his time. I don't know how much money he hid, but he got out and now is like roaming free. All these banks that Wells Fargo and that caused the crash and Lehman Brothers, those bank execs did not get charged. So the risk for them is very low to the fraudulent stuff that they do. And this is what we're dealing with. If people can do these white collar crimes, which is so much more damaging to the economy than whatever else type of crime you can think of, and they don't get, there's no consequences to it, this is where it's almost an incentive for people to act that way because the payoff is so lucrative. Like we have to shift that with more like stronger consequences, and that's where I don't think this Sam Bankman-Fried guy is gonna get like the book thrown at him. I'm anticipating 5 years or less.
If
He's
that,
gonna be out, and wherever he hid that money in the Bahamas, he's gonna be living the good life 5 years from now.
all right, let's go some more comments. Tim, there are two sides to paying the loan back. We talk about some of the business will go bankrupt and lose their business, and the other side is opportunities for taking over commercial lease. Well said. Well said. Where there is some people for adversity, it's opportunity for others. Right now, during this crisis, people are making money. People are taking advantage when because you buy low. That's when you want when you see those opportunities. Dr. Tachi, crypto is a long-term gain. I think too many people were looking at it as a get-rich-quick scheme. Absolutely, it is not. It's like any other investment. Agreed. Fitnets IQ says, very true, Dr. Tachi. Also, Ray says, don't forget the greed factor. Once there is personal greed, the folks will fall prey to fraud. Absolutely. I've seen so much over the years. Hashtag 30 years in the industry. That's why we say people go have a talk with Ray. Please and thank you. He sees that. Now, as we start winding it down in family, this is great. When we don't really have a topic, we can just go on something and you just fly in with your comments. Actually, let's new comments. Let's see. Let's see here. David says capitalize profit and socialize the losses. I love that terminology.
Mm-hmm.
Capitalize profit, socialize losses is the wealthy person's game.
And the gap just keeps widening because they can keep manipulating. They get money, manipulate to get more money.
I love that comment. Yep. Capitalize profit, socialize the losses. Well, and there's one comment got to catch up here. So Christopher Lawrence goes off topic, but related. Bakery owner in TO shares his emotional story of bakery after fire, cannot rebuild in there and now, but is still hopeful things will turn around. And I think you also provided a link about that in the chat here. So let me just see if I can provide the link, and people, if they have a moment, can take a look at that. But yeah, there we go. Yes, blog TO eat drink owner Patty Bakery emotionally of a Patty Bakery.
Right. Oh, and they had a fire?
Huh. Okay.
Check that out.
So, Christopher, I don't know if I'll get to it, but if you know the name or can send me the link, myself and Ryan, the link directly, hopefully if he's emotionally up to it, we'd like to have him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
See if they're just help his cause. Let's see. Donna goes, that's why I think there should be huge fines for any business that is found guilty of crookery. Yeah, but allegedly.
This is where we have to be careful, because then you think about how the system was built. And if you use politics, for example, at the beginning, the people creating the consequences for potential wrongdoing for themselves. So if you look at if a politician does something wrong, what happens? You notice that it's very lenient, because those people writing the laws, they're pretty much determining if they do something wrong, how much they're going to get punished themselves. So when you look at the financial institution, if the book gets thrown at somebody too hard, everybody else that is also involved in the crookery is going to get hit sooner or later. So they tend to not go as hard in consequences and keep their, like, everybody's in the club, right? So they're like, hey, that was bad, but let's not go too crazy. So they're policing themselves. It's just like the SIU, the Special Investigations Unit for the police, is an extension of the police. So they're not gonna fully enforce and lean in when some, because it could be some the next person down the line is like, listen, I know that person did wrong, but let's not to go too crazy because that becomes the precedent or the precedent for the next one. It's all like they're in the same club all together, and so they don't want to see those consequences because they could be next.
There you go. Christopher Lawrence says, in devastation, there is greater opportunity. I think commercial property might be something you may want to make a priority, perhaps. Christopher says, bars. Ray says, another reason why up-to-date business insurance is needed. Insurance should be reviewed annually, a very necessary business expense. And Donna says that is a conversation that needs to continue. We just can't accept, she goes, we just can't accept that. And Agreed. Then also Tim says to Ryan's point, this is why 45 will never go to jail. The rest of the politicians, Democrats and Republicans, are doing the same things just behind the scene. I would say is, here's the question. Canada and US, has any political party really helped melanated people?
If anybody says yes to that, I would love to see the receipts, because that'd be a tough I would love to see that explained.
Right? Because in Canada, I'd say majority of people support the Liberal Party. In America, the majority of people support the Democrats. Have they really, 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 really helped the plight of the majority of Black people? Because a lot of parties will say, well, Black people ain't gonna, we Black people, we're not gonna vote for the Conservatives in Canada, and we're not gonna vote for the Republicans. But I just leaving it out there. Has any political party, like some people would just say the Liberals in Canada and the Democrats in the US are just basically, they're just playing a better game.
Dr. Vibe, that is a full. You do a show about that every week. Like, that's how deep that conversation is. The state of things with Aisha is that question in a nutshell.
Exactly.
Personified.
I like this. So thank you, Christopher. Thank you for the bakery. Thank you. I like David says, if you ever met a poor politician, take a selfie. It will be unique. Really good. Yes. Really good. So, and to end off, Tim says, what happened to the video roundtable? Bring on the family to talk on these video chats. We had one already, Tim.
We did the call out. Hey, we will do another call out.
So on Monday, what we'll do is we will announce the next date for, we'll just call it, we'll just bring it out. We're probably looking at, I think we promised to do one every month. So we're probably looking at the last, either the first, either the 23rd or 27th of this month. We'll do our next one. So we'll decide on, that's a loud phone. We'll do the next one. We'll have the announcer for the next one no later than a week from today, if not sooner. So watch the show and bring your points, because I think it'd be great to have some of you express these in real time with us.
Call it the Morning Vibe Family Chat.
Yes. So the Macmillan Group, political systems and parties weren't designed to help folks regardless of hue. That's true.
They're quite well designed to help businesses and corporations. So that's why get your incorporation number, your holding company, your foundation, and your business.
Yep. Justice, you're going to rewatch Hamilton now. Go for it. And David from Australia, huge thanks. Great show tonight.
Yeah,
where he is, it's tonight. Information Fund, loved it. Thank you for your. David has been a long time Dr. Vibe supporter for years. So I appreciate you very much, David. And hopefully one day we can get you on the show.
That would be awesome. We might have to flip it so that it's morning for him and it will be evening for us.
Well, no, we can work it out. We can work
Yeah.
it out. So thanks, Frequency Events. Thank you so much, family. So another great conversation today, folks. Lots of things going on. Again, it was brought to you by Ebony Occasions. They're offering a 10% discount
Get
off
your
their
Valentine's
order.
cards.
Get those cards for your loved one. Here's the question. When was the last time you had a card sent to you? Hello?
Ooh, yeah.
When was the last time you had a card sent to
Hey,
you?
I got a thank you card from York
Oh,
University for donating.
oh,
And it made me smile so big opening the mail because a lot of bills are in that mailbox. And you skip the mailbox every so often. And then when something nice is in there, so
yes.
definitely send people cards. It puts a
Well,
smile on their face.
yeah. Well, my post, and I love him. He'll come around and he'll go, no bills today. I
Right.
said, good. Like, no bills today. I
It's
say,
like, if
thank
it's a
you.
bill, drop it in there tomorrow. Like, skip it for today, man. Just hold on to that one.
Oh my goodness. Again, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and Facebook. Also hit the notification button on YouTube. Just subscribe it wherever you're watching this and tell people about us. Tell people about us.
Please do.
Again,
Yeah.
also, if you want to get some knowledge, some bars, some beats about podcasting, I'm hosting a 3-part highly interactive free series that is being hosted by Innovation Guelph, which is a not-for-profit organization that helps businesses and entrepreneurs in the Guelph, Ontario area, Southwestern Ontario area. I'm doing a 3-part series on starting your podcast. We didn't even get a chance to talk about how much support they're giving me. That we didn't even get to that. We'll get to that. So that's happening. What else?
And as more news develops, the news about Brandon Gomez buying is it Toronto Now or Now Media?
Now Media. That's an interesting. Yes, that's a very interesting conversation topic that we will get to.
Yes.
So what do you want to do first? Giveaway or final people's comments? Which one you want to do first?
We'll do the giveaway.
Okay, let's do giveaway time. All right, massive amount of people come in again. Thank you for the giveaway stuff, folks. This is on behalf of Frequency Promotions calendar. So let's do this. We're up here. We're going to share the calendar. All right, so we got 13 entries, which means I'm just going to make it happen. Here we go. Probably add some music. I was looking into some music while this is running next time. So maybe we'll look at that. Aldafina!
Yeah. Congrats.
Congratulations, Aldafina. You are the winner of the calendar. Hey. So what you need to do, Aldafina, is this. You need to email info@frequencyeventpromotions.com. Put the morning vibe in the subject line of the email. And Christopher will get you that calendar. Tout suite, as we say en français. Tout suite. All right. Also, you can catch me tomorrow night, State of Things with Aisha, Jill, and Lala, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You want to hear what's going on in the U.S. from some ladies who got fire?
Yes.
And the odd curse word. Yeah, no, well, from Jill, the consistent curse word. Also, this Monday on the Morning Vibe, Dr. Tachi, who was in with us today, will be back talking about media in 2022 and what to look for in media in 2023. And she and Curtis, her co-producer, are launching a 24-hour online network by the end of Q2 of this year. Interesting. How come we can't do this in Canada? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube, Facebook, also the Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. So this is crazy. We got a pile of comments, so we're going to read them off here. Like, this is crazy. This is just out of control. Okay, so here we go. Dr. Tachi, great show. You helped it make it great.
Thank you.
Frequency, greetings, Ebony Occasions. Justin, thank you. Gents missed a bit in the middle, but always a good watch. Fantastic.
Appreciate
Looking
it.
forward to hearing from you. Fitnets, I get a card every year. Oh, from who? Okay. Another great show. Thank you, Fitnets. IQ McMillan says we always send cards to our clients for the same reason Ryan mentioned. Absolutely.
Yes. Beautiful
Fitness
touch.
IQ says, see you tomorrow, Ryan.
So for those that are in tuned with Camille and Fitness IQ, she does a podcast on Saturdays, The Things I Wish I Knew About Money. I will
Okay.
be joining tomorrow at 5:00 for that podcast. So
All
definitely
right.
tune in at 5. And yeah, we'll see how deep we talk about my financial journey of my life.
Okay. So Christopher says, big up.
Vibe
Dr.
and night.
Vibe and Ryan. Yes, he likes that. Fitness, where's the link to support? Support what? The support what? I don't know what you're asking. Justin says, Now Magazine, big things. I'm not 100% on that. I have a lot. I have
See if
more.
you'll come on the show. Let's send a message.
I have more questions. I have a lot of questions, Justin, behind that. Like one of the questions is, who's funding it, or what was the price? Because Now Magazine, for those, it's been a long time Toronto magazine, went bankrupt a while back, and Brandon Gomez, who used to be on City TV station here, has bought it. But the thing is, how is the content going to change, or is it going to keep its same identity?
Interesting. Right.
Is it going to have the same identity? And I'm, as I said to Ryan, we talked about this last night on the phone. Whose money paid for this? And if it isn't Brandon's, who? Because whoever has the money
owns it,
calls the shots.
And we saw that happen with the Black News Channel in the U.S., where technically it wasn't Black owned, but there were Black faces on it. Now it is Black owned. We actually should talk about what that's turned into when Dr. Tachi comes on Monday. But quite interesting with Byron Allen buying it and now rebranding. So
right,
a lot
because
of moving pieces.
Remember, Now Magazine was not a Black publication. It's a cultural,
right. Yes.
And from what I've read from what Brandon has said, the cultural thing is still going to be its theme. So
I could see that. Yeah.
And as we were saying last night on the phone, will Brandon take into a more melanated direction, or will he keep that cultural? Because I think if he takes it to a more melanated, will he lose the support of the long time Now consumer?
But remember, the long time Now consumers that bankrupted the company. So, like, who's your base when?
So maybe he'll get an opportunity to create something totally new.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he has that ability now. Like, let's lean into something else.
Right. So it's going to be interesting to see in regards to that. So Dr. Tachi says, yes, congrats. Aldovina says, yes, congrats, Aldovina. So she has won. Thank you. And it's nice. This time when our giveaway, different people are winning all the time. Frequent says, congrats to our newest winner. Fitness says it's 5:30, not 5 o'clock.
Hey, let me think 5 and I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there on time.
Yes.
I will see you then.
Din says back in the 1970s, Liberal Party did something for Black people, and early Rep Party in 1800s also. So he's saying that the parties have done nothing for melanated people. The podcast session. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the majority of Black people were in the Republican Party when that first was getting started, and then there was that history again. Definitely look into the history.
Who would be our big guest to get on that? Who do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Who, Jill?
No. A gentleman who wrote the book Powernomics and Black Labor, White Wealth.
Okay, yeah, Dr. Claude Anderson.
If we could get him on,
absolutely.
And it's funny, the last Canadian interview he did, who he did it with?
The Metro Morning?
Metro Morning wouldn't have him on.
I don't know.
L.A. Wade.
Really?
A number of years ago. That was his last Canadian interview. Okay. All right. So Fitness Cam saying the podcast session I'm doing. Okay, I'll put the link up real quick. Okay. So this is for you, Fitnance Cam. Screenshot it. Or basically, if you follow me on Instagram at the DRVIBESHOW, on Intervention Guelph is doing a post every second day promoting it, not only on their Instagram, but also on their LinkedIn. All right. And let's see if we got a few more quick conversations. I got an event to do in half an hour. This is going to be crazy. All right. Okay. Let's see. It says, I feel he'll spice it up. So that's what people are saying about this. And then exactly, Justin said, all valid concerns and opportunities. I agree. Fitness is saying 4:45 then. Bah. McMillan says, now has a very urban publication, very specific audience. True.
Yeah.
And Frequency says, Claude Anderson, that's a very powerful gentleman. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we are done. We've caught up with all the comments. What an incredible conversation today, family. Thank you so much for all you do. Hope your 2023 is going fine. So again, we have Dr. Tachi on Monday. And then on Friday, we have Ray McMillan coming back for his first appearance in the new year. So we're looking forward to it. Anything else you want to close off with, Ryan?
No. All that needed to be said for today has been said. Looking forward to the Monday conversation. Again, everybody enjoyed their weekend. If you can tune into the podcast with Fitness IQ, I'll be there at 5:30, but waiting at 5 o'clock patiently. So I'll be
4:45.
And we'll see you next week. Much appreciated to all that were present. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. And since Now Magazine's happening, guys, should we still go on since you're all going to go over to Now and watch Brandon?
I would love to see that come out. Hey,
we'll still be here.
See the developments.
See you on Monday, family. Be well and keep the faith. Remember to give yourself grace. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy, and live your life like you dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher and wider. Love, faith, and respect. And we will see you on Monday.